Drug war is not a soundbite issue. Truthfully, it's not even about drugs. The drug war is the culmination of the great desire of more than 1 million criminals worldwide to fleece the ignorant, bleeding masses with superstition, false science, and moral posturing that parallels the Islamic fatwa. Fear runs the drug war, and it sways public opinion enough to continue its reach towards eternity. Are we to forever bow down to the drug lords and their lackeys in government, science, and the media? It's really up to you, isn't it?
This is 90.1 KPFT Houston.
I do a bit of my act, where eventually it will be a law to be lazy and unmotivated. And I do a scenario and say, Mr. Chong, you have been charged with being lazy and unmotivated. How do you plead? And I go, huh? So that's such a joke the way they're doing it. But see through it. We got to see through it. Like you can see through Lou Dobbs. You can see through the drug czars and all these racist idiots.
Yeah.
All they're doing is just promoting their demonized right wing ideological idiocy. I can't even talk about it.
It's beyond reason.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
And I like to use the phrase that they use the results, the blowback from what happens from their policy as justification to continue their policy.
Yeah. Well, when they get caught in this catch-22 where they say, because of our ads, marijuana use has dropped incredibly.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need more money. to pursue a policy that's working so well that we don't really need to pursue this policy.
Or had it gone up, then they would surely need more money to go after it then. So,
well, that's what they're doing. And the DEA, there's another great organization. Now, when I was in jail, I had the privilege of being in jail with some very beautiful, smart people. And I was in jail with a lawyer from Colombia, South America.
Okay.
And his only crime was knowing stuff about the cartel and about the collusion between the cartel and the DEA.
Oh, boy.
Where he told me, he said that he's seen an airfield in the heart of Colombia where the DEA flies in and out of.
Right.
Without, and they fly out of Colombia without any checks. Like they don't have to go through customs, in other words.
Right.
And the plane loads of guess what?
Sure.
Lands somewhere in America, because that's the biggest dealer. Those guys are the biggest dealers in the world. And this guy knew about it, and so rather than to kill him like they would do normally, they give him a chance to take a prison sentence and get out of the country. So he was in jail where I was serving his time. And he had to tell me this. And he's a lawyer.
Well, Tommy, I mean, it's the international implications of this.
Yeah.
The Iran-Contra affair, swapping drugs for guns back then. Vietnam era, bringing heroin back in the bodies. And the
Afghan. Look at the Afghan.
Oh, more heroin than the world's ever seen.
And that's on the surface.
Well, yeah.
That's just on the surface. Can you imagine what's not on, what you don't see? This is surface. This is what everybody sees. And isn't it amazing that the war is still going? Isn't it amazing that you can't find bin Laden? The wars are falling, the countries are falling apart because it's this chaos that allows these criminals to keep working.
Right.
Because you can't police under chaotic situations. So that's how these people work. Well, and they're such the money is so huge, Like everybody, you think about America, we should be in a recession with the way the war and everything else. We should be hurting economically, but we're not. And you know why? Because there is a product, an agricultural product, that's the #1 cash crop in the world.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about America. Let's talk about the world.
Right.
A cash crop that's in the world that's keeping everything afloat because it grows. It grows. It's cash growing out of the ground, not being taxed.
True money tree.
Except by the DEA when they bust people with the dope and the cash. And you know what? They don't destroy the dope anymore. They keep both. They keep the cash and the dope. And the dope gets put on the market, and the money goes to these guys.
Yeah.
And so remember we used to read about, oh, they found a ton of pot and they burned it?
Right.
You don't read about that anymore, do you?
No.
But they're still busting it.
It's still going somewhere.
They're still, yeah. So
Pfizer and Merck kill more of us than the cartel scrap ever could. They thank us for our silence. Each year's $100 billion and the chance to do it forevermore. Drugs, the first eternal war.
Cut me loose, set me free. Judge what I do, now what's inside of me? Why do you pick my pocket? Just let me light my rocket. Who made you the boss of me? Get out of my life, let me be. If they stop Afghanistan from growing opium, and they cut down the Colombian cocaine, when Mexico runs out of marijuana, they think we'll quit getting high. But Walgreens is always standing by. Cut me loose, set me free. Judge what I do, now what's inside of me? Why do you pick my pocket? Just let me light my rocket. Who made you the boss of me? Get out of my life, let me be. Just peasants in the field, let's stand for truth or forever kneel. Every 16 seconds we hear the slamming door, and we owe it all to eternal war. The first eternal war.
When it comes to locking up citizens, America leads the way with far more inmates than any other country in the world. 11 reporter Brad Woodard took a hard look at the numbers. What he uncovered about Texas and Harris County in particular has some questioning who's being locked up and why.
What does it say about the land of the free when 1 in 100 adults living here is living behind bars?
It says several things. First of all, we have a lot of crime.
Says we do a real good job of incarcerating people.
Says we've overdone it.
With 2.3 million adults in its penal system, slightly more than 1% of its adult population, the U.S. outpaces every nation in the world when it comes to locking people up, including far more populous China and far more oppressive Iran. What's more,
stats also indicate that Texas is leading that effort within the United States. And if you look at the stats for the state of Texas, it's easy to recognize that Harris County, city of Houston, by far is leading the world in its incarceration of its own people.
Building the prisons nationwide. More drug war, more. Stuffing the prisoners deep inside. More drug drug war.